Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we today? Oh my goodness, there's so many of you in here and that's all I get. How are we today? There you go, there you go. Much better, much better. As we get situated, just waiting for one item from the City Clerk and Commissioner Bolton to have a seat. All right. Well, welcome to our Wednesday, April 23rd meeting. It is currently 9:32. Sorry for being a little bit late this morning. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Good morning, everyone. Mayor Gomez.
Good morning.
Commissioner Bolton.
Good morning.
Commissioner Wright.
Good morning.
Commissioner Patterson.
Good morning.
Vice Mayor Daniel.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Excellent. If everyone please rise. Commissioner Bolton will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will have a moment of silence. City Attorney, any report?
No report, Madam Mayor.
All right. City Manager's report will be held afterwards, and for right now, I'd like to invite my colleagues to go down to the well for some presentation, please. I was going to say the same thing. That's nice. You dressed? You ready? All right. So 2A is something that we're all very proud of. And I'm going to ask our acting Park and Recreation Director, Melissa Petrone, to come forward and make some introductions and help explain why we are very happy this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. This is a proud day for the city, getting our autism-friendly designation. This has been a year-and-a-half journey for us. I'd like to thank our Parks and Recreation staff. We had a big part in this with countless meetings and Zoom meetings and trainings with the organizations that helped us get us here. So we're very proud of this designation. And I would like to welcome Larry Rothman from HAPPY. It's Helping Adults with Autism Excel and Perform.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Mayor and the commissioners. It is a proud day for us as well. Tamarac is the fourth city we are designating as an autism-friendly city in Broward County. The reason we do that is how important it is for you all to understand the value to the city itself and to you individually. Melissa Petrone has done an amazing job of honchoing over 18 months of working through what we think you need to be designated as an autistic-friendly city, and it wasn't trivial. What I want to tell you is a couple of things. The autism rate is 1 in 31 now, according to the CDC, as of last week. If you take this down to Tamarac, Tamarac's a city with 72,000 people. If you do the math, that's 2,200 people in Tamarac, 2,200 people in Tamarac who have an autism diagnosis. Think about that. 2,200 of your fellow citizens have an autism diagnosis. Why is that important? Well, for one thing, there's an economic issue. The economic issue is like this. Of the 2,200 people, the average cost to support an autistic person is $60,000 a year. 60,000. That means in the city of Tamarac, someone, some entity, some organizations, the government, is paying out $125 million a year to support autistic people. Our value proposition, and we as Happy are focused primarily on employment, and so it goes like this. If we were to find training and employment for 10% of that population, it would add, if we do the math, somewhere around $8 million a year to the economy. But not only that, half of the money we estimate in support would go away. That would add another $6 million to the coffers. And then, how many of you ever heard of the Department of Labor multiplier? Whatever. The Department of Labor multiplier says when you create jobs, depending on the kind of job you create more jobs because someone has to support the people who are working. And so we use a very small multiplier. We say 1. So that means that there would be another $3 million put into the economy. So the economics of what you're doing is valuable to the city. We're talking about in the range of $12 to $15 million for Tamarac. I want to introduce Maria Jacobo, who is our senior vice president and a mother of a 27-year-old autistic person, and she will tell you about what it means to her and her family and what it might mean to you.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Ms. Mayor and everyone here, for giving the step forwards for families. I'm all about families, and as a mom of a Latino who's also an Afro-Latino man who's 27 years old, it's important the education, the inclusion, the love, and also the knowledge of autism within our community. So thank you for doing this. We are also very passionate about, for them, understanding what the city that they're living is offering. So thank you again for the registration. And not only for them to be included in the community as workers and laborers, now we're also including, and I'm promoting a program with FAU and also Happy, which is entrepreneurship, and the first Florida Neurodiversity Chamber of Commerce, because some of them are great entrepreneurs and they have so much to give to society. So thank you so much for doing this.
So, Madam Mayor, it is our pleasure and privilege to designate the city of Tamarac as an autism-inclusive city, the 4th in Broward County.
I would like to read it to all of you. This plaque is awarded to the city of Tamarac for its commitment to fostering an inclusive and supported environment for autistic individuals through dedication, education, and action. Tamarac has taken meaningful steps to ensure accessibility, opportunity, and awareness for all members of the community. With gratitude, we recognize your leadership in embracing neurodiversity and setting a model for other cities to follow. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much. It's been a long battle to get, yes, it has, since we've been here. Last year we had the Autism Awareness Fair. I know it rained and a lot of people came, but I'm so proud of our city for making this happen. So I really just wanted to say that. And we'll continuously do this because having a nephew with autism, having students with autism, this is my heart's passion. So I don't care, I'm saying something. We have to continuously put them in society, give them the freedom to be entrepreneurs, to add value, because they have so much to give. I have employees who have autism, and let me tell you, they're part of my success because they give, and you can't help but shine. So I just wanted to say kudos to the city of Tamarac, kudos to everyone who made this happen. I never do this, but I think this was worth that. So thank you.
And be happy to talk more after we take the photos. We're not actually done just yet, but so we also have, please stay. This is something that was brought forth. I know that I had the pleasure of speaking with a parent with an autistic child several years ago. He comes to our events, all of our events with his daughter, and they helped bring forth some ideas and had us get in touch with Broward County and what we can do. Each of us have our own story with somebody who is autistic, whether it's a family member or a colleague. When I came down, I worked for a nonprofit organization, which was now 30 years ago at this point, that dealt with autism and bringing it into the light because my bosses had a child with autism. And it was wonderful to see the progress and that bringing awareness has. And we appreciate our BSO for putting their truck out. We appreciate our firefighters who are very much aware of what is going on. And this proclamation is asked for on behalf of our firefighters. And we know some of our firefighters have children with autism. And you know, we may even have employees that have autism, but you would never know it because they work so hard. And even if they do and they let us know it, they should be proud because of what they've overcome. And they're here and being very productive and wonderful people. Everybody's wonderful, and we all have a little bit of something that we have a challenge with, and it's to shine and overcome. So on behalf of actually Tamarac Fire Rescue, Mike Anisi, our fire chief, our firefighters, our whole fire rescue, and actually our city, whereas Autism Society has established April as Autism Acceptance Month, and we recognize that those with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, who are achieving and breaking down barriers, and we strive to promote acceptance, celebrate the differences, and inclusion towards autistic individuals around us. And whereas the Centers for Disease Control estimates that 1 in 36 children and 1 in 45 adults has been identified with ASD in the United States. And whereas autism is reported to occur in all racial, ethnic, and social economic groups, affecting boys nearly 4 times as much as it does in girls. And whereas autism impacts the normal development of the brain in areas of social interaction, communication skills, and cognitive function. And whereas early diagnosis and treatment are essential for those affected by autism spectrum disorder, and we support any healthcare system that works for children and adults with ASD. Whereas during Autism Acceptance Month, we recommit to helping individuals on the autism spectrum reach their full potential. Now, therefore, I, Michelle J. Gomez, very proud mayor of the city of Tamarac, on behalf of our city commission, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as World Autism Acceptance Month on behalf of the city.
Thank you, Mayor Gomez. It's a very meaningful proclamation. Thank you to the fire department for recognizing it. We were really touched when we walked in this morning and saw the police car and the fire rescue vehicle with autism decals on it. It's very meaningful. I would tell you that this is, as I said to you, this is our 4th city in Broward County that we're designating. It seems to me, on the surface, but generally, if there's smoke, there's fire, that the commitment of Tamarac is significantly higher than the other communities. I again applaud Melissa for the work she's done. I applaud the commission for their commitment to this, and thank you all for what you've done.
And thank you all. I think it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a bigger village to support an autistic adult. So thank you for being that village.
Thank you, and it's a wonderful community. Anything the city does, we do it with our heart. We don't do it just to get a designation and say, hey, look at what we got. We do it because we mean it. And so we're all very proud, and I'm not sure if anybody else on the commission wishes to say something.
And we're with you on it.
Madam Mayor, before we move on to the Employee Service Awards, I would like to invite the fire rescue representatives, the command staff, and those that have been involved in this significant achievement. And let me tell you what it is. We are truly proud to share that Tamarac Fire Department is now one of only 312 fire departments nationwide to earn full accreditation from the Center for Public Safety Excellence, also known as CPSE. Even more impressive, Tamarac is now just one of 123 departments with both full accreditation and ISO Class 1 rating, reflecting our unwavering commitment to excellence and public safety. So I'm proud to ask Chief Anisi to come in and bring his team that helped us with this. I never get this much love, but Mayor, at this point, I would like to have Chief Anisi talk about the journey a little bit and then present the plaque.
Well, you know, I jumped on that one. I was looking for you.
Ooh. Yes. This is a very proud moment for Tamarac Fire Rescue. Obviously, these two designations of accreditation and ISO coming at the same time is a huge thing for any fire department. And like Levent said, 123 departments out of 25,000 in the country. So it's a huge accomplishment. All to these people right here. It really comes down to the people out there, right there. Those folks out there do it every day. They're rescuing people, saving lives, representing the city of Tamarac. It's all about them, and it's all about what they do. Also, you know, in the city here, it's a team all the way around, and I want to make sure that we thank HR. Was fantastic. They got involved in the meetings with accreditation. Danielle, IT back here, Jim Twigger, always keeping us connected in every way. Public Services helped out quite a deal. Every department is involved in it. Finance, I mean, everyone has a hand in making Tamarac Fire Rescue great. So it's not just about us, it's about citywide. Of course, our commission here is always supportive. I want to thank you all for always putting public safety number one, and also past commissions as well. It's always been a mission here in Tamarac to be the best of the best, and we achieved that again. And even past administrations in fire rescue, Chief Sales, Chief Burton, Chief Budzinski, all these things started long ago. So it's really a culmination of what's gone on over 50 years here in Tamarac to be able to stand here today and say we are accredited and we are an ISO 1. So thank you to all of you and everyone. I want to point out one thing here. Chief Frazier was our backbone for accreditation. He was a program manager. Please give him a round of applause. Right there. His team worked it really hard. They started way early. It's a 5-year process, and he steered us right into it, right up till we went up to the hearings in Orlando, and we answered our questions well, and everything went smooth. I want to thank the city manager, too. Levent, always having our back. He's been very supportive of the department. Maxine as well, always been supportive of fire rescue, so thank you to the city manager's office. And ISO, Chief Lopez basically steered that right over here. And he kept that team organized. A lot of things go into ISO. They look at dispatch. They look at fire rescue. They also look at public services. And the water treatment plan is how we get our water to the fires and so forth. That's an integral part of it. So, you know, yes. Anthony Licata. Woo! Earl Henry. Those folks really made our water system great. It's really about all three of those things. It's not just fire rescue. Again, that's also the whole city involved. So thank you all. I appreciate that. And that's about it. Thank you. And here's the plaque for accreditation.
Great.
Thank you.
So, City Manager, anything else we got going on?
Yeah, we do.
All right,
Mayor.
floor is yours.
But one more time, congratulations to Fire Rescue and congratulations to the entire City of Tamarac organization, and we're proud of you. Thank you so much. So now we also have proud moments coming up, and we have a number of employees with milestones in Tamarac, dedicated service. So let's get on with that recognition and celebration. Jim, Ann Harris is not in today, so we're going to move on to Sharmini Brooks, 5 years. Yes. Thank you, Sharmini. And Donnie Brown. 5 years. We have Les Claire, 5 years. Congratulations, Terrell. Terrell Hill, 5 years. Where's Terrell? Okay. Feriel, 5 years. Feriel was able to squeeze a couple careers in 5 years in Tamarac, so congratulations. 10. Tina. Thank you, Tina. Alex is not here today, so we'll deliver the good news to him. And we have Luis Vasquez, groundskeeper. Bird is going to get that for him. And Adam is not in today, so we'll deliver his award to him. Lydia Gomez, 20 years. "25 years of service." He's not in today, so we'll deliver his award to him later. And then another 25 years, Captain Wilton. "25 years, Van Schoen." We congratulate and thank all of our employees for these critical milestones and all the contributions you have made to the service of Tamarac residents. So thank you all so much.
Exactly. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. You're awesome. All anniversaries, please go outside and get your photo. And then you're all welcome to stay here as we have the rest of our commission meeting. But okay, I see you're all leaving us. Be safe. Continue to do the great job you do. Thank you.
That's mine.
I need to get your rails off.
All right, we are still in the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now up to our city manager's report. The current time is 10:01.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, good morning again. I want to start with our congratulations. The City of Tamarac has been honored with the 2024 Star City Award by the Landscape Inspectors Association of Florida for excellence in sustainable landscaping and environmental care. This marks the second consecutive year Tamarac has received this recognition, highlighting the city's commitment to Florida-friendly landscaping practices and creating a greener, healthier community. Congratulations. I think most of you have noticed that on April 22nd, the City of Tamarac launched its redesigned ADA-compliant website at tamarac.gov. The site features improved accessibility, a dynamic community calendar, interactive event pop-ups, virtual park tours, web-based video chat, and a publications viewer for Tamagram and the Parks and Recreation Guide. Future updates will continue expanding access to information and supporting community engagement. I think it looks really great, so congratulations to our staff that worked on that. We are excited about that. Please check it out and let us know if you have any feedback on that one. So we have 4 neighborhood meetings scheduled in the month of May. Join us for the 2025 neighborhood district meetings. This May, connect with the mayor, commissioners, and city leadership to learn about projects in your district and citywide initiatives. Residents will receive mailers with meeting details along with a QR code. and link to submit questions or suggested topics for discussion. These meetings will kick off with District 2 on Wednesday, May 7th at 6:30 p.m. at the Tamarac Community Center, followed by District 1 on Monday, May 12th at 6:30 p.m. at the Mainlands 1 and 11 Civic Association. Please visit the city's website for more information and stay tuned for these critical meetings in the month of May. Upcoming disposal events: protect your home, identity, and environment. Take advantage of 2 opportunities to safely dispose of household hazardous waste, electronics, sensitive documents, and unwanted medications. Household hazardous waste and electronics recycling is going to be on Saturday, May 3rd. You can safely dispose of hazardous waste and electronics, and BSO Shred-a-thon and medication take-back will take place on Saturday, May 17th. You can shred sensitive documents and drop off unwanted medications. For full details on accepted items and times, please visit our website or check the event flyers. And we have a busy month ahead of us again in terms of upcoming events. We have Mother's Day dance coming up, farm share food distribution, Groove on the Grass, movie in the park, and a number of other events. Please do visit our website for all these exciting events coming up. Our next commission meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 14th at 7 p.m. and that concludes my report, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We now move to public participation, where you can come forward. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address. If you're not comfortable with your address, please state the location of where you live or city of where you live. And we are happy about what somebody says. We do this. If we're sad, we can do this. We try not to make noise because we do not want to make anybody uncomfortable. Everybody has the right to share their feelings in a nice and respectful way. That being said, the first person on the list is Peter Mason. Come on down. And the next person will be Kate Johnson, followed by Eric Goldstein.
Peter Mason, Coral Springs. Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk, and everyone here. I would like to go on record to say thank you to all of the Commission for attending the ribbon cuttings this year. We've got a few more coming up, and I know you can, when you attend, it's a great thing for the business owners, and we appreciate all the effort in showing your support. So we actually have a ribbon cutting today. I know this meeting may go long, but it's at Fifth Third Bank on University Drive. I'll be there or around as late as 2 o'clock. And of course, we're really excited about the Rise Health, Wealth, Small Business Expo tomorrow. Without the City of Tamarac sponsorship and help, it wouldn't be possible. So on behalf of the Board of Directors and members, we say thank you for that. Thank you for the sponsorship. We're excited to have over 50 vendors, 8 delicious food sampling stations from local restaurants. We've got business advice from Career Source, Urban League, the City of Tamarac. All this is at the Tamarac Community Centre, 8601 West Commercial Boulevard from 4 to 7. It's free to come in. This meets our mission of this non-profit of bringing people and business together and promoting where we do business. Not all the chambers around Broward County have an expo, and I'm glad that we've been doing it for quite a while, and we appreciate the support of all our sponsors. That's it, really. I just wanted to express gratitude and support and engagement, and I have communicated with the city manager on some new ideas, and we're pleased to have the student sustainability event next year. It's going to be on the calendar at the community centre, so we appreciate the help and the partnership. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you and the board and everybody in the chamber does for Tamarac and North Lauderdale.
Kate Johnson, Mainlands 4. Good morning. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter and Passover with family and friends, and that you were blessed with peace at this time of year. I also wanted to say thank you to the city for all you do for autism. Having a granddaughter who's 7 and nonverbal, it touches me and it touches my heart that you're so invested in this community of people. I wanted to discuss the 400-meter running track at the Tamarac Park Field, which is being proposed by this commission. And as an aside, this was not on the agenda in any way that residents would know what the presentation by Parks and Rec was about. So I would appreciate more transparency and disclosure when you have specific issues that the department is going to discuss. I understand from the presentation it will cost between $4 and $5 million to develop this 400-meter track. According to what was said, the track could not handle paid track meets, and the parking is woefully inadequate. So the income would be almost non-existent to make up for the cost to renovate and restructure the park. We don't even have 200 parking spaces, and it would need about 500 from what the presentation said. We have schools nearby that have a full 200-meter track for use, and JPT does track meets at their 400-meter track. So from what I've seen during the discussions, putting this running track would mean losing baseball fields and or soccer fields. I'm not exactly sure what the final is going to be, if we're still going to keep 2 baseball fields and a soccer field or not. I know that Parks and Rec was going to give a report on how many people use the baseball and the soccer fields as it is now, versus do we know how many would use a track? Because it seems to me, having raised 3 sons, that baseball and soccer are the sports that they are most concerned with, that and football, of course. It seems it's being rushed through, and I'm not sure it's best for our city and the children who currently use that park. Also, there's other things in the mix already. Sable Palm Park, I haven't seen anything happening with that, and what's the status of that before we move on to the next event or next project? Thank you.
Thank you. As Eric Goldstein is coming to the podium, we have Patty Lynn. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak who did not sign up? Okay, then after Patty Lynn,
Good
public
morning.
comments will be closed. Go ahead, sorry.
Good morning. My name is Eric Goldstein. I'm a resident of the Woodmont subdivision. I'm here to raise serious concerns regarding the actions of the city's code enforcement division, the city attorney, and special magistrate Gabriel. Recently, I attended a code enforcement hearing concerning my property. During the hearing, I attempted to raise constitutional defenses, including violation of my rights under the United States and Florida constitutions. Despite my good faith efforts, I was told by special magistrate that constitutional issues would not be considered, and I was effectively prevented from defending myself. The city attorney was present at the hearing. Rather than acting impartially, appeared to participate in encouraging the magistrate to ignore constitutional claims. This conduct not only denied me basic due process, but also raises serious questions about the impartiality and fairness of the city's code enforcement process. As a citizen, I have a right to expect that city officials, including hearing officers and attorneys, respect constitutional protections and act fairly. The public depends on this commission to provide oversight and to ensure that city staff and contractors follow the law. I am asking the commission to immediately review the practices of the Code Enforcement Division, the conduct of the special magistrate, and the city attorney's role in these proceedings. I'm also placing the city on formal notice that if corrective action is not taken, I intend to seek further remedies to protect my rights. Additionally, if any other residents have had similar issues or experiences with code enforcement, the city attorney, or Special Magistrate Gabriel, feel free or feel you were treated unjustly or unfairly during the hearing process, I'd be interested in hearing more about your experiences and concerns. My email is my name and last name at bellsouth.net, spelled ERICGOLDSTEIN at bellsouth.net. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. While a comment might have been made considering the part of what you said might be in litigation, there's going to be no further comment from here. And Patty Lynn is on her way up. Again, public comments once, twice. Patty Lynn's the final person for public comments. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. The employee awards are always a wonderful thing, and I want to reiterate, especially for all of you, how it is the employees who do everything to make people come up to you and say, I really love the city, I really love the city. It's not you. It's not you. I mean, I like you all, but it's not you. It's them. And they do a good job. They have the paving project going on in mainlands all over the place. Your city crew, the overseer, everything is good. You have a problem, you call, it's taken care of. Even though they delayed it, and I'm sure it's not something that they wanted to do, but we're half done in Mainlands 8, so we're going to get there. The employees need to know how much you care about them. People use your jobs as stepping stones to higher offices, but maybe you're going to forget that we are paying attention. Anybody who wants to run for higher office who has served in the city of Tamarac, the citizens of Tamarac are going to just let them know and let the other people know. Please look at this commission meeting tape. Please look at this commission meeting tape. If you are not civil to each other, how do we think that you're going to act when you get into a higher office? Everything you do here is your history. And some of you need to go back to school and redo your history. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now public comments are closed. We go to commission reports. Commissioner Bolton.
Good morning, Mayor, and thank you for indulging me this morning. And for those people who celebrated the 4 days of Easter, thank you so much for enjoying the Easter holiday. That was Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Resurrection Sunday, and Easter Monday. So 4 days of Easter for the sound bites. Thank you so much for your hard work, Parks. You did a wonderful job with the autism-friendly city designation. I'd like to make mention of a resident, Carrie Phillips, who first brought this idea to me. Ms. Phillips might be watching. She watches all the time. Sent me an email a couple of years ago asking that we also take the step to make Tamarac an autism-friendly city. So following that email, I reached out to Ms. Calloway, asked Ms. Calloway to coordinate with Parks to make this happen. So I just wanted to add Ms. Carrie Phillips to the list of residents that we kudo because it was initially her idea to have this brought forward to the city. So that's my report. 954-275-3850 is my cell phone number. You can catch me on Instagram at Commissioner Marlon Bolton and at Facebook at Commissioner Marlon Bolton as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to mention that this Saturday at 11 to 1 o'clock, I'm having my commission on the corner in Fairhaven and Greenham communities. If you live out there, you can come out between 11 and 1 p.m. Also, residents in the Woodlands, you would see that there's new speed signs along the Woodlands Boulevard. We're trying to detour speed along the boulevard, so I worked hard and championed that, so now I see that there's speed signs in there. I got some pictures. I was also in there last night. And going to Patty Lynn's point, I was driving through your community last night, and I see half of the roads are paved. Hopefully we can complete that real fast, and that's my report.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. If we may, I just want to take a brief moment of silence. I have a resident, Ruth Edelman, who passed away in my district on March the 30th. She was 94 years old. She lived in Granville, the Kings Point community. And if we could just briefly just acknowledge her through giving a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you so much. Last month, I was excited to be able to welcome AAA Urgent Care into my district. We went by and did a business spotlight. So I just want to encourage those of you who live in our community. We have a new urgent care center that sits right here in the Publix Plaza. I believe it's called the Tamarac Town Square. Please visit them. They're a family-friendly urgent care center owned by PA Selena and her husband. They are extremely excited to welcome you, so please stop by if you need urgent care services. And also, we recently highlighted Retro Fitness that sits in that same plaza. So if you live in our community, you don't have to go to Coral Springs to go to the gym. You can just visit Retro Fitness right in that same plaza. I want to welcome our city overall and District 3. We do have a food drive on May 2nd at 9 a.m. at the Tamarac Sports Complex. So please come out and hang out with us during the food drive. On May 15th, I will be hosting an event called Breaking Barriers in Small Business at Colony West at 11 a.m. I welcome small business owners, entrepreneurs, and anyone in our community that's interested in developing themselves beyond where they currently are to join me at that event. And then lastly, as briefly mentioned by the manager, I will be hosting a District 3 Town Hall. This year it will be at the Woodmont Country Club, just for a change of scenery. So I do want to welcome and invite District 3 residents to join us on May 21st at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for everyone who came out to the gala on, when was that, March 29th. It was excellent. We went from 190 attending last year to this year. We had to up our MO to 235, so it was extremely successful, and it was a pleasure to honor other women. Upcoming events, Chew and Chat will be at Tamarac Park on the 30th, so anyone in District 4 who has a problem, has a concern, needs my assistance, please come out and join me. Make sure you follow me on social media, that way you can see everything that's going on. Also, our upcoming Senior Expo, the city has asked that I move the date. So the date will now be July 12th instead of June 29th. And at that event, we will have, I remember I told you, Social Security will be giving updates. We'd have seminars and workshops about health and wellness, social activities, so you could come out and enjoy yourself, different resources, and we'll have lots of giveaway. So come out, enjoy yourself. Email me if you have other things you want me to add to this event. We still have a month. We still have room to invite more, because I wanted to make it meaningful and exciting for anyone, really. I literally just got my APPR card, so I guess I'm a senior. So anyone, I guess 50 and older, come on out to the event.
We're in a special group.
Come out to the event. We'll be talking about finances, and I'm already collecting giveaways, so trust me, you will not be disappointed. Thank you.
There's something to be said when you're over 50. There's a beautiful freedom about it. So, yes, we're going to enjoy what we are and who we are and what we've achieved. So I agree wholeheartedly with Patty Lynn that without our employees, we would not look anywhere near as good as we do, and people would not be wanting to move into the city of Tamarac. if it wasn't for all the good work that they do. It was great going to the ribbon cutting for Treasure Ford Optical on Saturday with some of my colleagues and trying on a bunch of glasses and trying to see what free spirit would come out, whatever I might purchase, but still in reserve there. Had the pleasure of attending the HCA trustee board and hearing some of the great things that is going on at our hospital, and they have just won another fantastic award. I'm going to let their press release come out and give a full explanation about what they have done, but we should be proud of what is going on in our hospital and the renovations and the investment that they are making in our city. As for also being proud, very proud of our fire rescue, I'm going to make one little asterisk to the comment of it may be 1 in 125-ish now, but that is for 5 years later. 5 years ago, when we first got our recognition, we were 1 in 87. So that, in my opinion, just shows even better how we are, and we've just renewed, and they've seen how good our city is, and it was an honor to attend. I know my colleagues wanted to as well, and unfortunately they could not be there, but it was an honor to represent and to share good words to the panel of why we needed to be recertified. I don't think it took that much. I think they already knew. I invite everybody who has a teenager or every teenager who has parents or adults that they have to talk to the Tamarac Community Center from 1 to 4 p.m. on May 10th. Serendipity Women's Mental Health conversation will be occurring, and there will be some refreshment served. It's a pleasure to team up with Team Talk that day. And I'm glad that Commissioner Patterson made reference to the farm share food distribution that is now on May 2nd. I don't know if I heard that it was moved from April 26th. So anybody who thought they were going to attend this week, please know that it has been pushed back or pushed into May. Anybody who wants to do a workout with me, move with the mayor, we've got Bar Fitness, that's BARRE Fitness, not going to the bar and pounding anything down, at 10:35 in the morning at Tamarac Park, again on May 17th. That is a Saturday. Another wonderful new business that has opened up is La Vina. It's a Cuban cafe, which is right near LA Flowers. If you go just east on McNabb, the North Plaza, just past Arcadia. Please go in there, and there's a bakery that should be opening there soon as well. Anybody who likes to sing, or at least be with people who like to sing, it doesn't matter what your age is, Colony West is putting on a monthly karaoke from 6 to 9 p.m. Reservations are required. It was packed last month when they did this. People with their children were singing, people of all ages were singing, they were dancing. There's special food menu for it. You can eat off the regular menu. So I do ask that you come out. And our meeting is in the middle of May. It is Asian Pacific Awareness Month. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is Jewish American Awareness Month. It is a month to celebrate all of our unique aspects. So every day we should be celebrating who we are and appreciating who we are. And for now, I will then say it early, but I'll say it again later. For everybody who is a mother, who has the mother role, whether they have the title of mother or not, we wish you a fantastic Mother's Day, this Mother's Day weekend. And now we will move on to a consent agenda. City Clerk, I'll ask for a second to my motion. If there's no one who wishes, I'm going to start all over again. City Manager, anything to pull?
Yes, Mayor. I have a last-minute addition for discussion, the consideration of school zone speed detection systems as a discussion item to the end of the agenda.
If I hear you correctly, you want to put at the end of the agenda discussion of school zone speed zones?
Detection systems, right.
Okay. Then there it goes. Commissioner Bolton, your light is lit.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to pull item 5F, TR 14220 from the consent agenda.
Item 5F, TR 14220 is hereby pulled. Seeing no other requests to pull any items, I hereby ask for a second to the motion to approve the consent agenda minus 5F, TR 14220. Seeing no second, the
So move.
consent. Second by Commissioner Wright.
Second,
City
yep.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Just clear with the addition by the manager also on item 10, I believe.
You want us to now approve the whole agenda with the change? Is that what you're asking, City Attorney?
I think he added.
He added it, but not to the consent. He added it to the agenda in general. Are you saying we need to approve that?
You could do what you're doing now and add that afterwards.
We normally don't have to approve anything that the city manager puts on an agenda.
It's up to you. Okay.
City manager's agenda, then we shall proceed with his item.
Okay.
City Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolton,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniel,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0 as amended.
All right. I now need a motion and a second. Well, actually, City Attorney, please read the title of 5F TR14220.
Item 5F, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Tamarac awarding invitation bid 2504B to Board Tech Utilities and Maintenance Inc., authorizing appropriate city officials to execute a fixed price contract fiber network expansion project in the contract amount of $111,319.69. A contingency of $50,000 will be added to the project count for a total budget of $161,319.69. Authorizing expenditure from appropriate accounts. Authorizing the city manager and his designated to make changes and issue change orders in accordance with the city threshold and provision in the city code, providing for conflicts, providing for a scrivener reserve, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bolton. I have a second by Commissioner Patterson. At this time, I will open this item up for public comments. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Seeing no public comments are now closed. Commissioner Patterson, is your light lit for comment? No? Commissioner Bolton?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to ask Manager, why is the contingency budget at $50,000? The contract price is $111,319.69. Contingency budgets are generally 10%. To go even further, item 5I on the consent agenda has a contingency budget of 10%. Contract price is $91,412.60 with a contingency budget of $9,141.26, total to $100,553.86. So this item just looks a little bit weird, and I wanted to ask why the contingency budget is so high.
Thank you, Commissioner. May I invite our Chief Information Officer, Jim Twigger, for explanation on that.
Good morning, Commission. James Twigger, Chief Information Officer for the city. This project was conceptualized and put together quite a number of years ago. The city's been working since 2018 to put our own underground fiber network throughout the city, to our parks, to our city facilities, and this was the third phase, well, part of the third phase, 3A to that, to extend it from Station 78 across the Turnpike over to Sable Pond Park. When this project was put together, it wasn't built into it to the possibility of extending it down further to Shaker Village. So when this was bid back, because of the bid process we went through, it needs to be awarded as is, but our intention is to sort of set the stage, if you will, for going to Shaker Village. So after we get the project underway, awarded, our intention, the reason for the extra money in the contingency is so that we can execute a change order with the vendor to put in, don't hold me to it, approximately 3,500, 3,600 linear feet of additional fiber in the handhold by Sable Pond Park, so that when the time is right for Shaker Village, we can easily bore, drill, put the conduits in, pull the cable down the street to Shaker Village. We don't want to do that altogether as part of this project, because then you run the risk of someone digging, cutting the fiber before it's ever even in use. So that's why the difference. Usually we would do a 10% contingency, but that's why there's a little bit extra in there for that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Daniel,
Yes.
Mayor Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolton,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is 6A, TR 14228. City Attorney, please read the title for the record.
Item 6A, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Tamarac authorizing the purchase of a new turnout bunker gear as approved in the fiscal year 2025 budget, 100 new turnout gear sets and 16 custom replacement turnout gear sets from Bennett Fire Products, utilizing Lake County, Florida contract 22-730B, pricing for a total purchase not to exceed $383,932, according with the National Fire Protection Association standards, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take a motion in a second, please.
Move it.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bolton. I have a second by Commissioner Wright. Public comments are now open. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter? Seeing none, public comments are now closed. A full presentation was given on this item and delivered at the Staff Agenda Review Workshop on Monday, April 21st. Any discussion by the Commission? Commissioner Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to quickly say that I'm really glad that we are adding this additional piece of bunker gear. I think that we all know that there statistics show rather that the fire department tends to certainly be at an increased rate of concern with regard to cancer, and I'm really glad that we have the ability to be able to provide them with the additional equipment that they need. So I'm really in support of the item. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been very excited about this item. I have asked the chief a few questions, and I'd like to ask him on the record for people to hear the answers that I received regarding some of the potential concerns regarding a one-size-fits-all type bunker gear and how the rotation works out. So if you would, please share that with us.
Sure. Good morning, Mayor and Commission, Chief Anisi, Fire Rescue. So you're asking about one size fits all. So it's not a one size fits all. It's just that it's not the custom cut that they currently have, that they are currently in. That's all. So they come out, they're there now actually measuring everybody. So if you have a 42 or a 44 jacket, whatever it may be, or whatever length your pants are, that's all it is. It's just not the perfectly custom cut exact specification that we have. We did that because this is backup gear. So when they come back after a fire or it's ripped or anything that's damaged with the equipment, we can put them in a quality set of gear that has all the protections that are required for cancer protection and everything else. And that way we save a little bit of money, but we're also providing the proper coverage that we need to do.
Okay. And it is safe if they should need it?
100%.
Okay. And it is not like they're wearing it every day?
No, I mean...
or every call out?
No, I mean, the fact is that they're in the primary gear if they need to be wearing it. If that primary gear gets damaged or for whatever reason we need to take that gear out of service, they have an actual backup set of gear to get into rather than trying to borrow somebody else's gear or taking that whole unit out of service so that we can wash the gear, dry the gear. It doesn't make sense to have that unit out of service for that length of time. So this gear is a stopgap to that. So they'll be in that gear temporarily, so maybe for 4 or 5 hours while they clean the other gear, or maybe a few shifts, depending if it's damaged. Then we get it back in their primary gear.
Thank you for adding the time frame.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No further questions. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniel,
Yes.
Mayor Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolton.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to 6B, TR 14229. City Attorney, please read the title for the record.
Item 6B, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Tamarac updating the program for public information, which is part of the National Flood Insurance Program, Community Rating System, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wright. I have a second by Commissioner Patterson. Public comments are now open. Is anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing nobody wishing to speak on this item, public comments are now closed. A full presentation was delivered at the Staff Agenda Review Workshop on Monday, the 21st. Chief Building Official Tony Palacios is available to answer any questions. Any discussion by this commission? Seeing no discussion, City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Gomez?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniel?
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. We are going on to 6C, TR 14258. City Attorney, please read the title for the record.
Item 6C, a resolution, City Commission of the City of Tamarac, approving the first amendment to restricted covenant for the property known as Colony West Golf Courses located at 6850 Northwest 88th Avenue, declaring the property shall be maintained and only used as golf courses, open space, recreational use in perpetuity, providing for city manager, city attorney, authority to do all things necessary to effectuate this resolution, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wright, a second by Commissioner Patterson. I will now open this up for public comments. I see that Kate Johnson wishes to speak. Is there anyone else than Patty Lynn? And then is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this item afterwards? All right.
Kate Johnson, Mainlands 4. While everyone wants the golf course protected, does this resolution take into consideration the city needs and the future needs? I don't know what happened during COVID as far as the golf course, but God forbid something major happens again. Are we taking that into account? My concerns or questions are, does this consider future catastrophes or monetary needs of the city? And has any other city done this with these restrictive measures? And if so, what has been the outcome? What happens if the city goes bankrupt? Which, by the way, is a possibility with the way money is spent. What happens if the golf course can no longer be maintained? Does it just sit there in perpetuity? The resolution states it is to formally, quote, to formally declare that the Colony West golf courses shall be maintained and used solely as an 18-hole golf course in perpetuity. This restriction may only be released or amended by a unanimous vote of the City Commission of the City of Tamarac or its successors, and with the written consent of 100% of the property owners located within 400 feet of the exterior boundaries of the Colony West golf courses, end quote. My concern is not that it doesn't need to be protected, because it absolutely does. I said last time I thought it should be a citywide referendum on what to do with that golf course. But let's face it, to get this commission or future commissions to agree something, all of you, is highly doubtful. And also to get 100% of residents near them to agree is, again, nearly impossible. So basically, maybe that's the point, to keep it in perpetuity with absolutely, even though it says there's a way out of it, there is really no way out of it, because it's never going to happen. One last thing, I didn't have time to say at public comment that I did want to say here, even though it doesn't have to do with the golf course per se. Thank you to the city for so quickly taking down the walls of Shaker Village.
Thank you. Patty Lynn?
Patty Lynn, Mainlands 8. And my question is only about the open space and recreational use. It seems to me that a developer used that recreational use as a bludgeon at one time to say, if you don't change my zoning, I'm going to put in arcades and things like that. Does the recreational use of this property, is it limited, or is it anything that qualifies as recreation, because not all of it is really wholesome and healthy? Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Hi, I'm Manuela Taroa Keller from the Plum Bay, and probably I'm the only representative here who represents people who are living on the golf course. I have some suggestions for the Commission to look into the ordinance. First of all, I think we need a unanimous vote to change it. Because the way I see it, a supermajority is not enough. If people are of the same idea and stuff like that, the supermajority can easily be achieved. So, considering the fact that from 10 years ago, we fought hard to make the space a golf course, and then 10 years plus after, there's another fight about this golf course. I really do not want that to happen again. So that for me, to do the thing, I should suggest that we make it a golf course in perpetuity with no possibility of a land use change that would allow housing units in that area. So that's my point on this.
Thank you. Seeing no further comments on this item, a full presentation was delivered at Staff Agenda Review Workshop on Monday, April 21st. City Attorney Hans Ottenot is available to answer any questions. Well, I have some questions because quite honestly, I did not see a full presentation provided at the workshop. I also still do not see the covenant that we are amending. I had asked for it at the last meeting. I had asked for it to be included. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a restrictive covenant already in place, providing that this will be a recreational golf course property. I have no problems with enforcing a restrictive covenant. I happen to agree with words that have already been said, and I've shared this before. I think that in perpetuity, 100% out of a commission, which, let's be realistic, ladies and gentlemen, this commission will be changing within the next 10 years, right? So you can't say that the people here will be the ones making the decision. We don't know who will be sitting here. And we also need to be honest with ourselves. Who's actually going to be living in the homes in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years, right? I think it is too restrictive to bind future commissions and future communities to 100%, because we're also asking for 100% of the commission, which you may get, but 100% out of only 400 feet radius. I've asked this question, city attorney, city manager, can anyone tell me out of the 400-foot radius, how many people out of either Versailles Gardens or Concord Village or any of the other communities are being cut in half from being able to have their say on that survey? It doesn't say how many cities, how many communities there are.
Madam Mayor, I think we provided that information, that there were some communities that were slightly, cut in the middle.
You know I don't like criticizing our city, but our city has done a presentation that is lackluster. You are not giving me the answer that I've asked for. If I've got 1,200 units in one of my communities, how many units are being cut out and not being able to have a voice because we are limiting it to 400 feet from the golf course?
Well, as you know, the
Mr.
400
Manager.
feet is the practice as part of our code for the zoning matters. But City Attorney, you want to say something?
In fact, there's clearly, which I provided to the commission, precedent for the distance requirement. The Woodmont Golf Course has a 175 feet distance requirement, which basically has the same effect as a 400 feet distance requirement. The distance requirement obviously is measured from property lines, and this restriction obviously is a policy call by the commission with respect to the 400 feet. Is consistent with what we have done with zoning application in terms of notice and individual notices to residential owners nearby. So we're just following a practice that most city have, and we have followed over the years with respect to actual notice of any applications that's before the commission zoning.
So 150 feet from a private golf course community is not the same as 400 feet of 28 communities touching the course. Since you wish to bring Maxine up, Ms. Calloway, our Deputy City Attorney, also Community Development Director, how many acres is this golf course?
200 and something acres. It's in the resolution. I apologize. I can pull that up in just a moment because it's listed in the restrictive covenant. But just to speak to the communities that are included, where I think your question, which one it cuts in half, it's almost all the communities that are around the golf course. I can start, and we did update your map and included the name of the communities on your map, so it's easy to identify. So starting with Westwood Isles, Westwood 2, going around the golf course, Edgewater Village, that's all included, Paradise Estates, and these are all the communities where some residents would receive mailers, but others wouldn't. Plum Harbor, Plum Bay, and this is just based on the map.
So basically, you've given us several that are going to get cut. And
Yes.
because it's some arbitrary number that just because, yes, we've used it for other things, that we can have our say and we can change it if we wish, that we're just saying, let's use it. There's been no full discussion on it. These are tax dollars. This is anything that's going to be done for the upkeep of this 242 acres of golf course property is still city dollars that are paid for by everyone. If we're not a successful golf course in the future, as everybody likes to make comments of golf courses do great, then they fail, then they great, then they fail. That's why we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 courses go down, like 4 18-hole courses go down. One of them get converted into a 9-hole, so we have a 9-hole and an 18. I am really not in support of such a restriction. We had 80% of the population that were surveyed, which was the whole city, and people who play golf there, that said they wanted to keep it as a golf course. That, in my opinion, is fair. It is equitable. It gives enough space. Goodness gracious, our state constitution amendments are only 60% for change. Even the federal government isn't 100%, and 100% of all the voters, and 100% of all the people in the office. Why are we making Tamarac so restrictive? I looked to the cities to the west, south of us, at Lauderhill, Jackie Gleason Golf Course. There were such tight restrictions, they couldn't do a thing despite what the community wanted because the restrictions are so tight. What are we afraid of, people? Why can't we make this a certain year term limited, maybe like Woodmont, 50 years, but subject to supermajority? I don't even care if it's 100% majority of the commission because that comes before it goes out. Then it can go to the community, and the community can then decide. But in no way can I accept having the people that live on that course alone even get their voices cut in half because they don't get a say. So that's 28 communities that only full get a say. And also being directed for the rest of the city for only those 28 communities or the part of those 28 communities getting a say for what happens in their own city that they all have to pay for. So it's an all or none in my opinion. It needs to be, it can narrow it down to 50 years, 100% of the commission, I don't care, but it needs to go out to a vote for the city, and it needs to be 80%. It cannot be 100%, or else we are really going to kill the potential future of this city, and also, I believe, constitutional challenge. Those are my comments. With that, since no one else wishes to speak, and I don't see any support, City Clerk, please call the roll. One last comment on my minutes. I'm going to make sure it's clear for anybody who wants to do a soundbite and say that I don't support protecting the golf course and the recreation. That's not true. So whenever the sound bites come out for whatever games are going to be played in the future, I will be voting against this because I do not think it is in the best interest of our city in the way in which it is written. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bolton?
Yes.
Mayor Gomez? Commissioner Patterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniel?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you very much. We are now going on to ordinances on first reading. 7A, TO2590. City Attorney, please read the title for the record.
Yes. Item 7A, ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Tamarac, amending Chapter 15 of the City of Tamarac Code of Ordinance entitled Parks and Recreation by specifically amending Section 15-88 entitled Alcoholic Beverages to allow the sale and serving of alcoholic beverages for consumption in city parks and facilities, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for the effective date. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take a motion in a second, please.
Move it.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bolton, and I have a second by the Vice Mayor, Keisha Daniel. I now will open this up for public comment. I see that Kate Johnson has signed up. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak? I've got Patty Lynn and Stuart Webster.
Kate Johnson, Mainlands 4. I read the proposed ordinance and the backup materials. I'm wondering why we want this in our city. Tamarac has a reputation for family-friendly parks that are maintained and respectful. We all know what happens when alcohol is added to the mix. Emotional constraints are removed, and people act in ways that are not always respectful, and every park has children present. In this cultural climate, adding alcohol to our events seems like an added dynamic that may not be helpful toward a respectful and calm community. I'm not being naive. I know that many people drink alcohol at home and at functions, but do we need to be in the business of promoting it by allowing it to be sold? I know the backup material says it will bring in more money to the city, but is this the way to do it? And just because other cities do it, does it mean we should? Our ordinance already allows for families and individual functions to serve alcohol with proper insurances and permissions, but not sell it. Why do we need to sell it or allow it to be sold at city functions? I'm concerned because you have extended hours to sell alcohol at bars and nightclubs and now want to sell alcohol at community events. I'm just not sure it fits here. While you can justify it under strategic goals, how does this help our community in the long run? One last thing, there is nothing in the proposed ordinance about underage drinking or serving alcohol to minors, and while it is the law and assumed, the city must make due diligence to assure it is strictly enforced by clear and concise wording. If you go ahead with this, and I hope you do not, I would ask that there be wording added about minors underage drinking, and that if caught, that business will be barred from all future functions. Thank you.
Thank you. Patty Lynn's on her way down. Stuart Webster is next. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this item? Public comments will then be closed.
Patty Lynn, Mainlands 8. Absolutely not necessary in the city. Our events are successful. Everything that we photograph, people are happy. We don't see any sloppy drunks hanging around. We don't see people in states of disarray. People can come and they're allowed to bring their own and have a sip or two. I don't think we should be doing this. I don't think it benefits the city in any way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Stuart Webster. I come here in two roles. One is a personal one, and the second is as a 10-plus year representative committeeman in District 2. I got pushed here in that role this morning mainly. I hope that this amendment will be denied, because it's a terrible idea. As somebody, like all of us in this room, we had 10 meetings, events, and I'm trying to imagine some one stupid jerk who is drunk, being chased or whatever, rushing and hitting a child, hitting a senior citizen who is in a delicate position. All it takes is one. All it'll take is ruining everything for the city. The city has always been a quiet, a beautiful, peaceful, and stable place. We don't need alcohol. We don't need the excuses after the fact, and we're splashed all over the news, and somebody's trying to explain why they drank too much and it was a one-time off and it never happens again. We don't need that. Just try to imagine that any event, families spread out on the lawn, enjoying the moment, somebody is being chased by somebody else, and somebody bumps into a 1, 2, 3, 4-year-old child, or a senior citizen deciding to step out from, I don't know, Kings Point, and getting in a very delicate position and getting bumped by somebody. And who is liable? Who is going to be the first person to get sued? It'll be the city. And trust me, if this goes to court, it won't be pretty for anybody. I don't think we need alcohol in Tamarac. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. And Stuart Webster is Vice Chair Gardens. A full presentation on this item was delivered at the Staff Agenda Review Workshop on Monday, April 21st. Acting Parks and Rec Director Melissa Petrone is available to answer any questions. We're up for discussion by this commission. Commissioner Bolton.
Ms. Petrone.
Through the City Manager.
Good morning, Mayor, Commissioner, Interim Acting Director, Parks and Recreation, Melissa Petrone.
Ms. Petrone, no pun intended. Have you looked at any cities and benchmarked any cities that serve alcohol at their events?
Yes, we recently had staff call a few of the cities, about 10 of them, and all cities that we've contacted that we got responses from, they all sell at city events.
Okay. Did you find that there were any issues with selling alcohol or any lawsuits?
Not that we got responses from those cities we contacted, no.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Before you go, did we ask them if they had any issues related to alcohol?
Through the manager, Chair.
She's already up there, so I'm good with
manager.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for trying. So did we ask?
I don't know the full conversations our staff had with them, but we asked a couple questions as far as how the vendors are that participate in the events, whether the city staff sells, things like that nature. But I don't know the extent of how far the conversation went.
Okay. Because this is another one of those items that I don't think we have full information. There's not any surveys in the back to show us, other than we're being told that there are several places that do it. I think that if we allow liability, because we open it up and approve it, then we allow more liability in for those lawsuits that are potential coming forward. We don't have problems getting people to come to us, so who benefits from the alcohol sales?
Well, it's another amenity we're looking to put at city events to boost attendance. You go to a lot of other events, but obviously we wouldn't put it at family events that are kid-related events. It's more adult-oriented events that we would want to offer the alcohol sales.
Which one of our events are not city-related, family-related events?
Well, we're looking at more of like, we wouldn't put it at a movie in the park, but maybe like a concert in the park where it's more adults that attend those events.
We have kids that attend those events
We do
too?
have some kids that attend it, but it's more of an adult-oriented event.
Going to be at 4th of July?
We do.
So I don't think we hurt for people attending. If people don't attend our events, quite honestly, I don't think it's because we don't have a good event and we don't have alcohol. It's because there's so much going on in 31 cities in Broward. We are very accessible to Palm Beach, and we're very accessible to Miami. We are no longer where you have to live, work, and play right in your own city. You can worship wherever you want to worship. You go all out of here. And so it's not that we don't have alcohol, that some of our events aren't being populated by people, and I don't think alcohol does it. Yes, there are people who you can go buy their red Solo cup and you know very well that they're not drinking water. But the liability is on them, not on us. Yeah, well, maybe they are. Some they are. But I don't think it's also just, forgive me, subject to the city manager, subject to anybody he or she may designate as a city manager. This is a couple of years down the road. It's too loose. I don't think it's necessary. I don't have any residents clamoring to come in here and say, I need us to sell alcohol in here because I need to make sure I have a drink at the park. If they want to, when we're at Colony West and we're doing our Groove in the Grass, they can go into a licensed bar to participate in a beverage inside or whatever the rules are if they're allowed to go on the course with an open container. For me, this doesn't bring in any gravitas to our park and to our events. People aren't coming to it, are now going to start flooding in just because we may allow alcohol. I don't think it's a good look. I don't think it's a necessary look. I'm really not here to have our vendors make buku bucks on overpriced alcohol and then open us up for more liability, because once you allow it, then when we get into that lawsuit, we've allowed it. Whereas if they do something now and they drink in the park when they're not supposed to be drinking and something happens, yeah, they're going to name us, but we're going to be removed from that lawsuit. So for those reasons and some others, I just don't support this. Commissioner Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple questions for you through the manager, Ms. Patron. Can you tell me, are we saying that we want to have liquor at every event? What are we proposing here? Are we saying that we're just trying to open up the opportunity to have alcohol at every event in our city, or are we looking at a rule or a provision in our code that's going to allow for a special permit for certain events? Can you be a little bit more specific?
Yes, from my understanding, what we would do is we would identify events we would want to sell alcohol at for city events, and then it would have to get approved by the city manager. And then for outside organizers that would like to come in, they would have to go through a process to get approved as well.
And let's talk about that. So let's just say, theoretically, we decided that we want to allow for a special use permit or whatever the proper language is for someone to be able to serve at a particular event. What is the criteria that one would need to meet in order to serve? What guidelines are you guys proposing?
Yes, if an outside organizer would come in, they'd have to fill out the special events permit through the Community Development Department, but there's also extra restrictions. They would have to obtain a valid state alcohol license. They'd have to secure liability for insurance, naming the city as additionally insured, and they would also have to implement adequate security, sanitation, and extra event management protocols will have to be put in place.
Okay. Is there a way to ensure that can we limit the areas? Given consideration to the inclusivity, the modernization, some of the things that we are looking at as a commission. We're looking at new city halls. We're looking at, multifamily. A whole bunch of multifamily mixed-use projects in our city. We're attracting a number of younger people, younger families, and we're also in the middle of a number of destination cities where I think I'm not that into sports, so forgive me, but I think Lauderhill just had some kind of cricket. A lot of our neighbors are destination locations. They have either performing arts theaters. There's a number of things happening around us, so I understand the point about our economy and how this could be beneficial. Is there a way to gridlock where maybe we don't do it at the sports complex, which is bordered by all residential, but perhaps we look at locations that sit in commercial areas where maybe those are designated areas or events that are hosted at those locations? Can we consider additional guardrails, I guess is what I'm asking, if this is something that the commission were to be able to consider?
Yes, absolutely.
To include things maybe like age verification. Because obviously I think that if we're going to consider something like this, we would want to be concerned with our children. We want to make sure that anyone that is being served alcohol, that we've taken the appropriate measures before they even come into the event to ensure that they have, or that we as a city have made sure that they are not of drinking or of drinking age. Maybe there's a wristband, something that would, could it be maybe that we start out with just wine and beer at certain events versus full-on alcohol. I think there's a number of things maybe that we could consider if the commission were open. I'm just looking at just from a progressive standpoint, and also at the same time considering the demographic and the population that we have. What do we have, or what can we put in place just to be able to, look at our city from a more modern and progressive standpoint, things that would attract what makes our city an attraction point for, different events. Right now, we're hosting all of our events. There is, I understand, quite a load on, our family events and things of that nature. But I do think that we have some beautiful locations, and we're growing, and it does seem like, our city could potentially be an attraction location that would potentially bring in some extreme revenues. Now, we're not talking about like the neighborhood revenue. We're talking about attraction, destination site at certain locations. So I just would, put that on the table for the commission to maybe consider that as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Wright.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First and foremost, I grew up in the Caribbean where there's lax alcohol laws, and alcohol and music and people don't mix. I've seen too many times of people just acting wild at events with alcohol. I do agree with Commissioner Patterson's point of economic growth and progressiveness, the fact that we have Sunrise, which has a hockey team, but that's within a hockey stadium. A lot of Hale's cricket, that's within a cricket stadium. So those are confined areas. I think what I'm reading and what I'm interpreting from this, you want to have alcohol at city events. So if I go to the Pet Expo, if I go to a movie in the night, if I go to those type of event where there's families and kids, clarification. Tell me exactly where the alcohol is going to be sold.
But like I said, it would have to be identified which events would make sense to sell alcohol, and then obviously get approved by the city manager.
Okay, so you're doing selective events. You're not saying for every single event, but it can happen at those events. You're saying there's a possibility that the city manager can sell alcohol at those events.
Yes.
Okay. Second thing is that we actually own a bar in terms of Colony West. So we can direct people to Colony West if it's after an event or they want to go and have alcohol. So as a business person, MBA business person, but I learned this from the jerk chicken guy. He sells jerk chicken at the gas station, but he can't sell drinks because the gas station owner has to get access to the drinks. So the gas station owner makes the drinks money. So if we own a bar and we can direct people to our bar, that's money coming into our coffers. So we kind of cannibalizing ourselves by selling alcohol at different events. Wouldn't you say that if we have alcohol at these different events, we're taking sales out of our pockets?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think that? Well, from a business perspective, I look at it from that business perspective, from that thing. But going back to the personal part of it, you said it's going to be as per event basis. I just don't like having alcohol in public spaces, at public parks and public events. So I definitely can't support it.
City Manager, you wanted to say something?
I'm going to allow let the Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, open space. No, I could see the golf course because it's mostly adults at this moment, and you already sell alcohol there. But at the park, like, what are we talking about?
Not at the park specifically. It wouldn't be like at a daytime park where anybody can go and buy.
But people, there's no need for alcohol at the park.
We're specifically talking about just city events, but they happen to be located at our parks and facilities.
But if it's city events, it's city employee, why we need alcohol? And it was a big no, but I'm trying to negotiate. I don't, because he brought up that we already do it at the golf course, and that's the only place I see where, okay, right? I don't understand.
City Manager wishes to say something. Go ahead.
I do, Madam Mayor. So I spoke with a number of cities myself, and so this is not a new concept in just about every community surrounding us. It's been happening for years and years and years. I personally spoke with Sunrise, and so they had this provision for as long as they know, and you know, from their perspective, they're not experiencing any concerns or problems, and so we have a number of safeguards in the ordinance in terms of this permit. Obviously, it's a selective process, and it's not quite subjective. It's based on a number of criteria that the alcohol vendors would need to meet for this sale. And I just want to, you know, I don't want to put them on the you know, in public eye, but you know, if you remember, every single year St. Malachi holds a fair, and then they come to us for special exception on alcohol permit, and we do grant them that every single year, and I haven't heard any concerns from the members of the church or members of the community attending those events, you know, with their sales and consumption. So is most of you are saying that this is not for every event that the city holds, but we do know some cities, you know, have isolated spaces in the name of placemaking that they offer, you know, special events, wine tasting, you know, some special occasions, so that they have the ability to provide, to make this provision, and so that's all this ordinance is asking for.
Commissioner Wright?
Thank you, Madam. And to follow up on the city manager's questions, interestingly, I watched a Sunrise meeting last night, and they had a consultant who was talking to them about updating their codes from the 80s. So their code is kind of written from back in the 80s. So I guess back in the 80s, alcohol was something that they did. Going to the other point, the surrounding cities, do they own a restaurant like we do? Does Coral Springs own a restaurant? Are you aware of Coral Springs as a city that owns a restaurant?
I don't believe so.
Does Sunrise own a restaurant?
They do.
They own
not a restaurant, but they have facilities. I believe they serve, you know.
No, I'm saying that we own Colony West. That money comes directly into our coffers.
Absolutely, but not everything is happening at Colony West.
No, I'm just saying in terms of, you know, it's a small city, and with alcohol and cannibalizing sales and trying to drive people to Colony West, that can be part of one of the marketing strategies for people who wants to drink alcohol. True. It's a confined area, and the money comes into a coffer. So that's what I'm thinking from a business perspective, but also protecting the residents of our community, where we can still benefit from those who want to consume alcohol. I'm not discriminating against anyone that drinks alcohol. I'm just saying, being that we have a restaurant, there's a way we can help those people who want to have, you know, post-party fun or post-event fun. There's a place that they can go, as opposed to having it in the park where we have families and kids in that type of stuff. Right. So those were just my follow-up questions.
Okay.
Thank you. And also, what hasn't been touched on, our ordinance as being provided does not allow for beverages. It's strictly prohibiting anyone participating or spectators of athletic events and youth activities and programs organized by the city. So there goes bringing in money if people are watching football games in the city. It also, we've not touched on the fact that it allows, if I'm having a party and I'm going to be doing a rental of one of the pavilions in the middle of Water's Edge Park, where I'm bringing in cases and cases and cases of beer, and then we're all going to go have fun in the beach volleyball area. It doesn't limit that. The reality is people come to our parks with stuff. They complain about how expensive some of our food trucks are already. There's no guarantee that they're even going to take alcohol from the food trucks or buy alcohol from the food trucks, because they're bringing their own and they're quite content without having to worry about it. The things that are in place, we say no smoking, we say no vaping, we say no pot, we even say no to the puppies come into the park, and we see how well that's enforced. So let's be realistic. I don't feel good about the safeguards, or we're putting our employees into a different position and having to have even more police officers to enforce this, not our own public services officers there. So again, we do have private permits, and as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to St. Malachy's, they should continue to do their permit requests. I don't know if they're still being charged, but if they're being charged at this rate for the umpteen, 20, 30 years they're doing it, we should be waiving that fee at this point. But it's a private contained, good, I'm glad it's waived, a private contained location for 2 days a year, and that money goes to raise money for the church, bring it on for them. They bought their permit, go for it. So I think at this point we might have beaten this one a little bit too much. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wright?
No.
Mayor Gomez?
No.
Commissioner Patterson?
No.
Vice Mayor Daniel?
No.
Commissioner Bolton?
No.
Motion fails 5-0.
All righty, so we're now moving on to ordinance on second reading, 8A-TO-2585. City Attorney, please read the title for the record.
Ordinance 8A, an ordinance City Commission of the City of Tamarac adopting the first budget amendment to the City of Tamarac operating budget, revenues, expenditure, the capital budget, the financial policies for the fiscal year 2025 by increasing the total revenues and expenditure by a total of $2,895,924 as detailed in attachment A and attachment B, and incorporated herein, providing that the first amendment is being adopted in the same manner as the original budget and serve as the new adopted budget, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take a motion in a second, please.
Move it.
Second.
Seeing no second, okay. So Commissioner Bolton has moved it, Commissioner Patterson second. Item is open for public comments. I do not see anybody signed up for this. Is anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing no comments, public comments are now closed. A full presentation on this item was delivered at Staff Agenda Review Workshop on Monday, April 21st. Financial Services Director Christine Kajus is available to answer any questions we have. Open, bless you, for discussion by the Commission. My comments are the same as last time. While I try to be very supportive of what the city is doing and the budget amendments, and I appreciate the funds that have come in, some of the offsets, I cannot support some of the expenditures or the changes in the expenditures, and I am tired of being the one who just gets along to go along to support certain things, and so I will not be supporting this amendment. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Gomez?
No.
Vice Mayor Daniel?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
No.
Commissioner Bolton?
No.
Commissioner Patterson?
Yes.
Item fails 3-2.
All right. We are now on speed zones cameras. City Manager, you wish to bring this item forward? Please proceed.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn this conversation over to Commissioner Bolton. He's the one requesting this discussion. So, Commissioner Bolton.
So in other words, this is bypassing the proper procedures to have an item placed on the agenda 6 business days before a meeting, going through the city manager to make it appear as if it's the city manager's item versus it actually being the city manager's item. Welcome to not following the rules of the city manager.
Madam Mayor, the item was on the last agenda.
And then you could have done a...
Will you just let me finish?
Well, we seem to
You
not
like
follow
to
rules.
hear
Go ahead.
yourself speak, so go ahead. I'll speak when you're done.
Actually, I want to ask the city attorney on a point of order and point of clarification. As a parliamentarian on here, who usually is supposed to make sure that things go onto the agenda properly, why was this not disclosed then, city manager? Can you ask, why if you knew, did you know?
Well, first of all, yes, it was told to me prior to this meeting, a few minutes before the meeting. This item was previously added was an agenda item by the city manager. It was not by Commissioner Bolton. So Commissioner Bolton has every right to ask the manager to bring the item back, and he brought it back.
Yes, but usually that is through the same rules as a motion to rehearing, or it's 10 days prior to, and we have access to the agenda. No.
Mayor, didn't you indicate that the manager could add whatever he wants on the agenda?
The manager, but then the manager should be presenting, because the manager allegedly asked for this, not to hand over presentation.
It was his item that was brought up at the last meeting. He's just bringing it back based on the request. I don't see anything.
The problem is based on the request. This is not a city manager item. This is a request of somebody on the commission to bring it forward.
It was his item. It was the manager item.
It doesn't matter if it was his item. The fact of the matter is,
any member of the commission can ask him, bring it back.
I love how rules are only important for when they're convenient. If we are supposed to have, when the commission has access to the agenda, The commission is responsible for making sure we have access to the agenda 6 days before the agenda is presented. So therefore, it would be put on properly. So since the city manager knows so much about it, city manager, this is your item. Please feel free to bring up what Commissioner Bolton wants, and then at discussion, Commissioner Bolton can proceed.
Madam Mayor, this is an item that we presented to the City Commission in detail through a presentation, and we also outlined some of our concerns and the intention of the staff to pursue other possibilities with the provider to consider different enforcement times for these detection units, and so we wanted to have that review with the contractor, with the vendor, and so we've done some of that. So we did find out some possibilities of different enforcement possibilities which require changes to the contract, and so we're in the process of putting all that together. So that's all I have at this point.
You're just providing an update, which could have been brought up in your city manager's report, because there's nothing for us to do since we can't vote or discuss this item freely and clearly with competent evidence and information for us to discuss here today. Is that correct? Part of
The concern is that we did not receive consensus the last time, in the pursuit of this item, and so.
But city manager has never stopped the city manager's office that if they feel that there is an item to bring back forward with new information, that you would need our approval for you to do so. So if you think that there's new information to obtain, then bring it back to us at that time, because you have access to the agenda and you can do so at that time. There's no reason for this game that we're playing today.
Point of order, Madam Mayor. At the last commission meeting, there was no consensus given. So for the manager to say then that there is new information to be brought forward, he cannot do that because there was no consensus at the last commission meeting. So you can't have your cake and eat it too, because you can't tell the manager he has the prerogative to bring an item back with new information when the commission, the legislative body, the policymakers of this city, told staff that there was no consensus. So,
go ahead.
Again, do not interrupt me. I sat back.
Go ahead, then proceed. I thought you were done. Proceed.
So again, if the manager has new information, can't bring it back, because at the last commission meeting, again, no consensus was given. As far as I'm aware, this item was on the last commission meeting agenda, and I asked the city attorney whether or not that item can be brought back since it was on the last agenda. I was told that it can be brought back. I asked, how do I bring it back? Do I ask for it to be brought back, or does the manager bring it back? I was told that is the manager's agenda. There's no rules that is being broken. I'm simply asking the questions and getting the answers. If someone wants to make an issue of this to be added 6 days before sure, but the agenda, the item was not given any leverage at the last meeting. So to put the item back on the agenda with a 6-day rule, I don't see how that would happen.
You want to discuss the topic?
My only qualm with this item is that between the last meeting and now, I realized that there were no police officers sitting outside the schools. Before the item was presented, there were a lot of police officers giving tickets every single morning. I drop my son to school, they're there, ticketing people every single day. After the meeting, after there was no traction for the item, they were not there. And I've gone to 94th every single morning, and they weren't there giving out tickets. So I feel that they were there probably, I love police officers, you know that I do. I really do. I really do. They know they have my heart. But I really believe that games were being played to bolster whatever numbers needed to be given to the commission. And so because there are no police officers there giving tickets again every single morning, no right turn, no left turn, whatever it is, then I thought that this item would have been maybe a good idea to explore, because there is no bodies, or the police can't just be in a school zone every single morning. On the flip side, they have work to do. They have other work to do. So we can't just expect that they're going to be in the school zone every single morning, right? So it's plausible then that maybe the item could be explored just a little bit more. If it is your contention, Mayor, that this is not put on properly, or we're making a wrong move by having manager bring back an item on his agenda, or scolding me for asking the city attorney's opinion or asking the manager's opinion before, then so be it. But if this is not the right venue or the proper way to bring back the item now, then at the last meeting there was no consensus, so the manager should not be looking into.
So here's my part of clarification, because actually items can be brought up by the city manager and it can be done. It's the city commission, when we don't approve things within 3 times, it cannot be put on for 6 months. So the city manager, actually, it is in his purview. If we read our rules, go ahead to section 2-34, go to city commission meeting agendas. Also, we do have the requirement of the 48-hour notice. Then I'm sorry, Commissioner Bolton, that you were not given good advice that we have talked about all the time. This is not the first time we've discussed access to the agenda, commission's access to the agenda, and whether or not there was consensus, because you don't need to have consensus, city, if you wanted access to bring this up and to talk about it.
Point of privilege, Mayor.
I'm in the middle of mine, but you'll go next because I'm trying to bring my point of clarification to the agenda here.
Sure.
So it's not necessarily the way we do things, because this is a hot topic, and instead, again, it could have been brought forth if it wanted to be done not through this way. The city manager could have said at his agenda item, saying, we're going back and we're going to get some new information, or he just could have brought it back in the future, or he could have been told properly, you can bring it up as another right to other on this one. It's not worth beating this point up. I know that Commissioner Patterson wants to say something, and that's fine, but I think we need to start remembering the procedures here and start being more consistent, and also be honest with where it's coming from. City Commission, Commissioner Bolton asked us to do something. We didn't think we needed to put it on a full item. I'd like to add this to the agenda on it. Really transparent, and probably would have had no issue. So with that, Commissioner Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just with respect to your point, would it be appropriate, Mr. Attorney, that we just take a vote and add the item to the agenda, if that would make things a little easier, if it's a matter of discussion?
The majority of the commission can add the item. Also, the commissioner can always ask the manager to put an item on the agenda prior to the meeting, during recess. It was said earlier, it's the manager agenda. And because it's the manager agenda, he could say he doesn't want to add it, or he could add it. That's his discretion. And he decided to add this one. And so I don't at the end of the day, Commissioner Patterson, the majority of commission can say, hey, we want to hear it, and that's fine.
So I would just, can we discuss the item or do we need to take a vote?
We would need to discuss the item, but I want to do one point of clarification in the middle. City Clerk, what is the rule of 48 in the notice provision in our code? And you're the one who is responsible for providing things on a timely basis.
So the rules regarding the 48 hours is that if we are required to post an agenda of the items being discussed within at least 48 hours. However, an agenda may be amended to add items to them. It would be preferably to have those items advertised. However, there's times when that's not available as long as we post an agenda of the proceedings of the meetings within that 48 hours.
Okay. Well, this is not emergent, but at this point in time, we've already heard what the city manager wants to say. I have no problem if there's a motion to add this to discussion. If somebody wants to make a motion in a second. I'm not hearing anybody wishing to make a motion
It's
in a
already,
second.
It's already been discussed.
already there.
But it's to not, whether or not we want the city manager to come back with an item.
Madam
We want to
Mayor,
make it discussed that way.
Madam Mayor, you heard that there are two ways to add an item back to the agenda. It's the manager's agenda. You said that out of your mouth.
Yes.
The manager agreed to add the item back to the agenda. Why are we voting to add the item back to the agenda?
The problem was that it wasn't the city manager that point of clarification. The city manager didn't want to add this in because of himself. He was adding it in on behalf of someone on the commission. He was the shill.
No. I'm not afraid to add any item on the agenda. I'm not afraid to ask for anything publicly.
That's not the point.
Madam Mayor, I'm not afraid to ask for anything at any given time. So don't make this seem as if I'm trying to backdoor an item. I can ask for an item whenever I want to ask for an item. I asked the city manager whether or not I should ask for the item or he should ask for the item. I was given the advice that he can add the item because it is his agenda. Out of your mouth, you said that the other part of the agenda is not a workshop. It is the entire commission meeting. So then, from the last commission meeting, I can bring back an item for a reconsideration. Simple.
And simple. Look at the rules. It is for items for reconsideration.
You are making a mountain out of nothing.
No, it's because this place never follows the rules consistently.
You never follow rules consistently.
You know what? City manager, in the future, if you are going to bring an item up that is a motion for reconsideration by one of the people on this dais, please do so properly. And city attorney, please give the proper advice as well, because it is in the code
Madam Mayor,
that says
I gave the proper advice. You just not obviously understand the rule.
Oh, I understand. Motions for a hearing do not go there, city attorney.
You create rules as it goes, as
Yes,
you know.
you do, because you even said it at one of our workshops. You said right in the strategic planning, we don't need to worry about rules. We set the cities in bids.
You just indicated that the manager can bring agenda item. It is his agenda. Now you're reversing the statement that's just made on record.
No, I did not. City manager brought forth the item. When the city manager discussed it, city attorney, when the city manager discussed it, it was his item. When he goes, I'm bringing up an item, I'm deferring to the city commissioner, that is not his item.
Can you tell me what rule precludes you?
Yes, I can, but you know what? You should be able to know.
City commissioner and say, I'm bringing it up because I have the right to bring it up. There's no rules that say he cannot accept an item for discussion from a member of the commission.
For motions for reconsideration, city attorney, look at our own rules.
First of all,
if he's going to go that this is a motion for reconsideration, stay your course.
What are you
Stay your course.
Motion for it was a discussion item.
Just said it was a
discussion item. It wasn't a resolution, so there's no motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no further business of the city.
It was a discussion item.
There's no further business of the city. This item is now done.
Madam Mayor, point of clarification.
You can have your point of clarification.
This attorney, this item is back on the agenda because the manager put it back on the agenda.
Correct, and you said it was done.
Okay, and I would like to have a roll call vote of this item. I'm going to vote no on it, and I'm going to ask that the manager do not do any further investigation or bring this item back for discussion at any point in the future. This item should be done and done away with. You want to play games? Let's play games. This is the pleasure. At the last commission meeting, the vice mayor said that she did not want it. The last meeting, Commissioner Wright said that he does not want it. Okay, I'm going to join them.
I've already asked for a motion in a second on that.
So moved. I'm going to vote no on this item and ask that no more investigation no more study of this item be brought back.
You don't have that control in that motion. The motion is the item that you
advising what my stance is going to be.
So you can't do a motion and then a stance. Your motion has to be what your motion is. So are you amending your motion? And months have lapsed. It has agreed, the City Commission, all proposed agenda items shall be delivered 6 business days. Really, do look at 2-34. And it also deals with motions for rehearing. And I don't understand what the problem is. It could have just been done so simply. So the item is, in one breath, because it was said a few minutes ago, that this item was done. We already had the comments from the city manager. Make up your minds. I asked for a motion if you wanted to have a discussion on it. There was no motion, there's no second. Seeing that this topic has already been handled, if Commissioner, Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Well, it's been on. That was an exciting conversation. So we already voted not to do this, and thank you for bringing up what you saw. But I'm not sure if our captain wants to respond, but I do know both the elementary schools and the middle school has a police officer on site throughout school hours. There's a BSC over. Right, but they could give tickets. Trust me, mine gives tickets. So I'm glad you brought that up, though, because hopefully there was no gimmick. But what I do know, in my district, there's no need for a police officer to be where that flashing light is on, what's that, 81st?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there's no need, because we all agree there's no need. So if you don't see, I know you're not in my district, so there's no need. There's no need for this.
Madam Vice Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I would love to make a motion to have a sound vote on this, and a part of my motion is not to bring this item back in perpetuity.
Right, I'm totally in agreement with that. I will second that.
Okay, so I made a motion. Can you please second my motion?
Don't hush me.
I'm not hushing. I'm just asking
I
you.
listened to the discussion.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm in agreement, but I just wanted to clarify what you said, right? I don't know if you want to speak on what he said regarding, I'm not the legality of the motion or anything like that, but of what he said regarding the police giving tickets. That's the part I'm interested in.
Madam Vice Mayor, thank you. Madam Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. City Manager. When I came to Tamarac as an executive officer back in 2023, compared to the other cities I've worked at for BSO, I felt that our presence in the school zone, particularly at Millennium and Challenger, was less than what I'd seen in my other prior assignments. I made it a priority to make sure that we had a presence on the daily when school was in session. I want 2 CSAs and 1 deputy present during those school zones. If there is an excessive presence, I cannot speak for that. If there is a void of my expectation, I'm happy to learn that so I can take action and make sure that that presence is constantly there. When it comes to the speed studies that were done, I cannot tell you, I did not have any advance notice of speed studies done by other personnel, other outside entities. And when my own deputies did some speed studies, I cannot tell you whether we had excess presence or presence done because there was no coordination whatsoever. So to that extent, I cannot answer that question, but it is a priority of the Broward Sheriff's Office Tamarac District to have presence during school zone hours when the children are present walking to and from school, when the parents are driving through there, dropping off their kids to ensure the safety of those children.
Thank you. But I'm in agreement with what you just asked. I will second your request. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah. So the motion on the table at this time that has been brought forth by Commissioner Bolton and seconded by Vice Mayor Daniel is that the topic of red zone cameras shall never be discussed again in the city of Tamarac. I got it right?
You got that right.
Okay.
And you shot yourself in the foot.
I shot myself in the foot. I'm not shooting anything here.
You just fought your own self. Because I'm changing my position so that this never happens again.
Okay, start his clock for 5 minutes because he continues talking. City Clerk, you've got the motion and the second, correct?
That's correct. I have a motion by Commissioner Bolton and a second by Vice Mayor Daniel.
Okay. Commissioner Wright, you wish to say something?
Captain, Lieutenant. In reference to the school, I actually drove by there yesterday and I did see less presence during school hours. There was this construction happening in 94th. I kind of attributed it to the construction or just, one of those days. But going to Commissioner Bolton's point, because I know he goes there every day to take his son, has there been a reduction in officers since the presentation? Because before the presentation, I did see a huge presence of officers. At Ferguson and also on 94th, where the entrance cuts across to 57 going to Tamarac Village. I would see three officers there in the morning time.
There's been no conscientious action, I can tell you. I know that our motormen recently participated in the South Florida Police Rodeo. I believe there was some absence in preparation for that. That may possibly, depending upon the dates you're speaking of, explain why you may have seen a more recent drop-off. But again, that being brought to my attention now, I will get with my motor sergeant and my patrol sergeant and make sure that drop-off, or the below the level that I articulated, is not happening.
And you did mention when you came as executive officer, you wanted to see more, you saw more presence in sister cities. You saw more presence of police officers in the school zones in sister cities. Is that what you just mentioned a few minutes ago?
Yes, sir. Prior to my arrival, or when I first got here, I noticed that those other cities treated the school zones almost like a religion, where it was bred into the personnel to know that is a priority to make sure we have that presence for that window of time. That is what I helped to start back at that time, and I'm making sure that it's happening now. So again, I'm not happy to hear that there may not have been a physical police officer presence, even if my CSAs were present. I'd like to have at least a minimum, a single deputy and 2 CSAs during that time. So to bring that to my attention, I'll be happy to make sure that gets rectified if that deficiency was present.
Appreciate that. And the CSAs are the ones that are present inside the school physically?
No, sir. That's the SROs.
The SROs, sorry.
The CSAs are the community service aides. They have the yellow lights as opposed to the blue lights. They kind of accentuate that the school zone is present with a physical presence. But the officer is the one that they would handle crashes, for example. The deputy would be the one that could issue tickets.
Yeah, I do see the CSAs. I didn't know your definition, your legal definition, but I did see the CSAs, but I saw a presence of actual officers.
Yes, sir.
Officers that carry guns. I know the CSAs don't carry guns. I saw officers that, and I saw a reduction in that amount. Tanya did a presentation, city manager, through the city manager. She did a presentation, the numbers showing, do you still have that presentation available, since we're having a discussion?
We can pull that up, but that presentation...
Okay, that's fine. Let's move on.
Commissioner Patterson.
Thank you, Mayor. We heard the item last meeting. It was quite late, and I think everyone was pretty much ready to go, so I didn't really say much that night. But, while I do absolutely agree with innovative policing strategies, and I think red light cameras, are kind of one of those types of strategies, I think there's nothing like a body, a unit, lights flashing, cars present. People tend to respect the body, the vehicle, and so I would support Commissioner Bolton's motion. Thank you.
So while I don't know what has been assigned to me with this thought that I am the queen of desire for red light zone cameras, but it feels like that's what's being charged to me.
Want to call the question?
I don't get it, and I don't really care. Do I think that we don't bring it forth again and don't discuss it again? I don't think the numbers were appropriate. I gave my comments last week, I think, or last time. I don't think the information we were provided was sufficient. I don't particularly care about not bringing it back forward. My problem with this motion is this perpetuity. The fact of the matter is that this commission is acting in a manner, if we agree to this in perpetuity item, is acting like we are the then-all, be-all of decision makers for the rest of the city's existence. And we are strangleholding other commissions from doing what might be right for the residents and the students and the police officers at that time. And I kind of want to say, who do blank do we think we are if we're to do that? I have no problem saying that this commission will not review red light cameras over the next year, 2 years, 6 years, since I plan on being here till 2030, if that'll make some people happy. I don't care. But to put a perpetuity item, I think is disgraceful to the future people. We don't like when the state is saying that we don't like when they take things away from us because they think that we don't know how to do what we're doing. We're going to be doing that to the future commission here, saying to the mayor and commissioners at that time that come off after us, we don't think that you have the brains to handle what's best for your population, so we're going to put this one in perpetuity. I don't think that's a good deal. So for whatever other politics and politics will be played after this vote, I'm going to be voting no because of the perpetuity language. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Patterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolton?
Yes.
Mayor Gomez?
No.
Vice Mayor Daniel?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you. On that note, since there's no other things being thrown onto the agenda for someone else's purposes, City Clerk, this meeting is adjourned. It is currently 11:49. Happy Mom's Day to everyone celebrating.